So I've mentioned multiple times about the 63 Chevy Nova in the background back there.
That one.
You interested in knowing a little bit more about what's going on with that car? Stay tuned. We'll let you know. Hey guys, Dave, Johnny, Tell You What Podcast, www.tellyouwhatpodcast.com. In the intro, I mentioned the 63 Nova in the background, but I want to touch on something just real quick.
Okay, I thought it was car time, but go ahead.
in the review episode, we talked about new stuff that we've gotten in the show, right? Mm-hmm. So we got this cool new camera now instead of using the phone. And with the phone, we weren't able to see the screen, right?
No, we weren't.
So I'm looking at the screen, and you are a bit shorter than me.
I don't know why. I'm just a portly sidekick here. I don't know. I'm like all torso, and I don't understand this at all. I don't. Yeah, I was looking at this. I'm like, look. I'm like this. Like, I don't. What the hell's going on here? Yeah. See, I don't know why you're that much taller.
I don't know. That's weird. Anyway,
feel free to send me a phone book.
Hey, why don't you scoot over
this way?
That way? There we go. See, okay. This is real stuff. This is filmed.
I didn't get any taller. What exactly did that do?
I don't know. What the hell? It brought you better in frame. Oh, because we can see it now. Now it bothers me.
No, now we can see that we can see better that I'm shorter.
Yeah.
That's a great help.
We filmed this in my garage. Damn it. Studio, if you will. And it's unscripted, filmed in Reno, specifically Cold Springs.
We couldn't have a script that sucked this bad.
Yeah, we couldn't. It wouldn't work. But anyway, 63 Chevy Nova in the background. You can kind of see it. You see some paint missing right about there. You can see a fender missing right about there.
This area right here.
So the story about this car is pretty interesting, actually. Maybe not. I don't know.
It's a good story.
Yeah. So it belonged to my grandparents, and I originally thought that they were the original owners of the car.
I thought they were.
Well, I talked to my uncle, and he said they bought. He thinks that it was purchased used, but not too long after it was new. So basically, probably like 64, 65.
I was gonna say because people kept cars, not like today where people lease cars or they just get rid of them because they're bored or whatever.
Like I do.
Yeah,
which is another thing too. I added a different car to my stable. We'll talk about that a different day.
Yeah.
But this car, it was owned by my grandparents, and I mentioned in another episode where, like, jokingly, obviously, enough people died for me to be able to get the car. And not too many other people wanted to deal with it. I bought it for my brother, who I'm sure would have kept it if he had the means. But I've wanted this car for a long time. I can honestly tell you this is probably the first car that I fell in love with when I was like 10. My favorite thing in the world was to look at this car. Just to look at it, and we got to ride it in a couple times.
And back then, what was it, inline 6, 3 on the tree car, wasn't it?
No, it was inline 6. I thought it was a 3 on the tree car. It was just a power glide car.
Oh,
automatic.
3, wow, that was a big option for 63.
Yeah, I mean, I get it for efficiency and stuff too, you know. But yeah, it was mostly original. The color obviously wasn't original. We're finding that according to the VIN tag, it was an Aqua Azure or Azure Aqua car. But at some point, I think they took it to Earl Scheib and they got it sprayed some kind of weird green. Grandparents were Irish.
That's not Aqua Azure or whatever.
No, if you look, and I'll post some pictures on the screen as we're talking about it. But if you look where the trim used to be, it's a weird kind of bluish, kind of aqua kind of color. That's the color that it's supposed to be. But it looks like it visited an Earl Scheib or something, because I don't know if Mako was a thing back then. But it's always been that kind of weird green color.
It almost looks like merino blue underneath there. I love merino blue.
Yeah.
That's an awesome GM color.
Yeah. This poor car sat in my stepdad's driveway until the day that he died. I think somebody jumped on the roof like a trampoline. The driver's side window was busted out of it, so cats used the inside as a bathroom. But it just sat and sat and sat in one of those deals where maybe someday, if the sun shines or something, I'll do something with it. And then you fast forward, like years later, a tree's growing out of the engine compartment. You know, you see those memes.
Be honest, how many of you out there have projects like this?
But Yeah, like I said, enough people passed away in order for me to get it. My brother sold it to me for a very good price. Car was mostly original. Like grandma stitched some seat covers, changed that up a little bit. So much in fact that when we opened the trunk finally and looked in there were rolls of the material for it. I threw it away.
No, you don't have the grandma stick seat covers.
No. Well, no, they're still on the car, but the material that she used, I threw away because cat piss and stuff was on it. Like,
you're not into cat piss?
No
material. Okay,
I don't do that. I do lemonade in funky cups.
There you go. That's cool. It's Dave's favorite.
It's my favorite cup.
Okay,
but so originally I was just gonna try to kind of put it back. But somebody did like a head gasket or something on it, and it had a 195 6-cylinder or something, whatever the straight six was, because there was a 4-cylinder option and a 6-cylinder option, and this one had the 6-cylinder option in it.
Yeah, like 193, 195, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 195.
Were they that big?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, because it later on they got changed up to, I think, to a 235 or something,
and then like 260 or something
like that.
Or is that a Ford thing? Don't hate me for that.
I know a 235 was a Chevy thing because an ex-girlfriend of mine had one and it had a 235 in it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Anyhow, what happened? Oh, somebody did a head gasket on this car, and there was some stuff that wasn't torqued down properly or whatever, and it clacked. Like, it almost sounded like a diesel. I could barely get it into my driveway. My driveway was kind of like up a little slope. Nothing terrible, but up a little slope. I was lucky to even get it back in the garage and stuff.
How do you screw up a 6-cylinder head gasket?
Hey, man, it's something that I wouldn't have tried. So whoever tried, hats off to you. I wouldn't have tried it. I would have just replaced it anyway. So I was looking into the cost of fixing the 6-cylinder. Long story short, the cost to fix what I needed, to fix the cylinder head and to put a new cam in it because the cam lobes were screwed up. The rockers were screwed up. Everything was screwed up. I would have had to replace it all.
General thing was screwed up. It was just general screwed up and smelled like cat piss.
I didn't bother doing a compression check because in the back of my mind, I've always had this idea to get this car and swap an LS motor into it and and just drive it. So one thing led to another, and the cost to fix the cylinder head exceeded the cost at the time to purchase and install an LS motor in this car,
which is insanely ambitious. You realize?
Yeah, I understand.
That's
so, and this was 7 years ago. Okay, so wow. I know if you're an American car guy or whatever, if you're a car person, you've heard of these LS motors, and you realize how common they are. And now people are starting to get pissed off because they're saying all this LS this and LS that, and whatever.
People are putting LSs in like everything. I was for whatever reason, I was at Barnes & Noble, and I picked up this copy of this like Ford truck magazine just for the hell of it because I saw it on there. I was like, what? I used to get rid of these trucks like all the time. I like Ford, like, late 70s, late 60s Ford trucks. And this one guy actually put an LS motor. I gotta find it. I could take a picture of it. The guy put his LS motor in this Ford pickup and custom crafted valve covers and put a dummy distributor in the front of it to make it look like a small block Ford. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
I've seen that in like some of the older Mustangs and stuff. I've seen people do that. I have a friend up in Washington that has a Fox body Mustang with an LS motor in it. There's
really?
A few local guys here that have some really fast Fox body single turbo Mustangs.
These things are like the way to. These things are that's like the way to go.
My friend has an LS based motor in a Datsun. I've known this guy for years.
That'd be awesome.
Ever since I love 2021. It's his fault that I street raced back in the day.
Oh boy,
that's how we met. This Datsun had all kinds. It had twin turbo. It had a 6-cylinder, a straight 6 or whatever. Then a turbo 6-cylinder, and then a small block Chevy, and then an LT1 out of like a Z28 or whatever, then a stroked LT1 with some spray, and then the the way this car like kind of morphed into what it is now. It's like like a
whatever's hot platform.
It's like a big inch LS small block whatever single turbo.
Damn.
Tubbed Datsun. It has like 13 or 1400 horsepower. I don't know. He just ran Texas 2K. So yes, they were putting these engines in everything, and everybody was like, "Oh, ban the LS swap and all that." But anyway, so 7 years ago, I started this journey, and a lot of guys are like, "Well, that's not going to work." Okay, why? And no one, it's a blah, 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 blah.
7 years ago, the resources weren't nearly as available as they are now.
No, actually, the motor that I have came from Florida. I got it from a Copart dismantler yard. They shipped it to me on a pallet from Florida, and it was $700 shipped to my door
For a
5.3
rotating,
LM7
ready to go
complete engine. Now, when I got it,
harnesses.
they broke the intake in shipping, so I had to buy a new intake manifold. They cut the fuel injection harness off of it. But I needed a swap harness anyway.
Yeah.
Some of the coils were broken.
That's the one thing with getting these engines, and it's nothing against like the folks that do it. We've all been, we've all seen both of us have seen enough engines and shipped to us on pallets, whether they're like stock engines or we're doing something with them.
Expect broken shit.
You're going to get broken stuff. You're going to get cut harnesses. That's just how they do it. It's just nothing against them. It's just a practice. Get over it.
Yeah. So I got this motor on a pallet. I had to replace some stuff. But there's something that needs to be understood. When I got this car, I wanted it on the outside to appear as original as possible within reason. And I wanted the car to be the car. I didn't want to pull the front clip off and put, a high VTs or whatever the hell it's called, or, an ousted front suspension on it and fucking tub the rear and put these big old giant monster tires on the back and all that.
No full.
I wanted a back seat. I wanted the car to be a legitimate Chevy 2 Nova.
Kind of a sleeper. Totally
Kind
sleeper.
of. And
until you hear the damn thing.
Until you hear the thing. But as most projects go, ideas change and things evolve. And I think that's the word I was looking for earlier was evolve. Adapt, whatever. Things just change and cool stuff comes out on the market, right? And you see things and it's like, oh my God, I want to do that. So I still have the stock style front suspension. It's a CPP, what they call the mini subframe from CPP with coilovers. I didn't opt for the sway bar. I wish I did. It's something I will add later. I have, after fighting headers and stuff, because it's good luck finding headers that are going to work 100% of the way. My first headers I got from Summit on clearance, they said it would work and they didn't, so I sold them. The second set of headers, I didn't read the fine print. Apparently, I spent $950 on stainless steel long tube headers from Stainless Works. And there are they were for cars with aftermarket clip or something.
So if you don't have an aftermarket clip per se, what do you have? What is the subframe in there? Like, what is it?
It's
what all is replaced? Because I'm looking, I can see. You can probably see the coilovers. You can see the A arms. If you're looking,
if you could kind of see, I guess not really, but basically it's the stock. A lot of people swapped all that out for Mustang 2. I didn't do that. It's literally the stock subframe. So what the car came with is what's on it.
Okay.
However, it had some funky power steering stuff and funky control arm setup and all that. So all of that got ripped out. It had power steering. It had a ram, power assisted steering. Had a hydraulic ram, and the fluid would run through the ram and push the tires from side to side.
Oh, oh my gosh!
So I got rid of that.
I've seen these before,
and it has steering arms and stuff.
I've seen those.
So now that it's a manual steering arm car. However, it has the CPP 400 steering box in it, so you run the power steering lines to that, and bam, you have power steering with manual steering parts. It has an upgraded idler arm. So it feels just more tight, But it's easy for people to just throw those front ends in there. I didn't want to do that. And I realize now the cost would probably be the same. I realize that maybe I should have went that way just because of what I want to do with the car. I want it to handle. I want it to do all these things. That doesn't mean that if I throw a sway bar on it, it's not going to handle, because it's going to handle just fine. And it's going to handle better than a factory Chevy 2 is going to handle. And it's not that much work. So it has stock front suspension. Originally, I wanted to go turbocharged, or I was going to leave it all motor. I was going to cam it, leave it in automatic, and just drive it. Get in it, turn the key, drive it. Yeah, okay. So
then but wait, there's more.
Then I had a problem finding headers and stuff that would work. Long story short, I ended up getting Church Boys Racing headers made specifically for an LS and a stock style front suspension with the strut towers and all that.
So you had custom headers made for this thing?
No.
They made them.
That's why they're so expensive.
Oh,
because they're made special for this deal. What Church Boys Racing does is they supply parts for this genre. There's a lot of Chevy 2s out there, and there's not a lot of companies that make parts for Chevy 2s. You're always seeing first-gen Camaros or Chevelles or third-gen Novas, all of that. But what's great about Church Boys Racing is they build these things, they race these things, they beat the crap out of these things. They've won multiple awards for their products: front suspension, rear suspension, headers, exhaust, interior, cross members, the whole 9 yards. Really? This company does it, and I didn't discover them until later. So I'm using and they have two different options. They have full long tube stainless steel header. I bought the mid-length because it makes more torque than the long tube. It fit better for me in my application.
Kind of like a Venturi action going on sort of thing?
I'm not going to pretend like I know. I just got on the phone with them, and I asked them what the difference was between the two, and they said not much. They're both stainless steel. Okay. The mid-length, you can buy downpipes and stuff to make it reach your exhaust. The long tubes, obviously, you don't need that. But I was thinking in the future, I was like, well, shit, if I want to go turbo later, I could make these into some sort of crazy turbo header or something.
Cool. So
I bought them. And then come to realize that with the stock front suspension, it'd be much harder to turbocharge the car. There's hardly any room in there. And like I said, I'll put pictures on the screen and stuff as we're talking, and you'll see it seems to be wedged in there pretty good.
It is.
So then later on, I decided, well, I don't think I want to do a cam motor. I think I want to try to do a turbo or supercharger or something. Well, I have no room for a turbo without spending a lot of money on fabrication. I don't have that ability. I have a family, a wife, kids, and everything. Right. For a while there, I was the sole income. I was the only one working while my wife was trying to get her nail business off the ground. So I couldn't justify spending thousands and thousands of dollars on a hot side to turbo the car. Mm-hmm. So then I got this idea. And Nova Steve has been helping me out this whole time, and I thank him very much for his guidance on this deal. We were both talking one night. Wouldn't it be cool what if Chevy came out with a Nova that was pretty fast and factory supercharged and stuff? What would that be like? And I'm a big fan
in 63.
Yeah, in 63. And I was like, well, okay, let's take that idea and flip it around a little bit. If we were to try to build a resto car today, nothing crazy or anything, right? What would be in this car? Now, what I used as my answer is the Cadillac CTS-V.
Okay.
I feel like that's probably my most realistic dream car, currently anyway. But it's my most realistic dream car, and I almost had one. We might have to talk about that story.
We're going to touch on
Son
that.
of a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
don't get him going right now.
So my thought was, well, why can't I just make this into something similar? Similar supercharger, similar engine, similar interior, all of that, but in the shell of a 1963 Nova that appears to be factory.
Cool.
When you look at this car with the hood closed, you're going to see just a shoebox Chevy 2. No cowl.
Just some clean
You're going to
wheels.
see a little bit of modified suspension. You're going to see some nice hot rod wheels, which you can see on almost any modified
just a fun driver
Chevy 2. You're going to see that. But then when I open the hood, you're going to see, which may not be a big deal to people, but it's a big deal to me because I feel like the package represents what could be possible if you use factory parts, right?
That'd be cool.
You're going to see the 5.3 that originally came out of an 03 Avalanche. So low mileage 5.3, straight out of the junkyard.
Right on.
You're going to see the LSA supercharger or ZL1 supercharger, whatever.
Which is awesome on the way.
With the ZL1 Camaro lid. So you're going to see that. You're going to see the headers. You're going to see all the AC. You're going to see all this stuff. But you're also going to notice that the hood closes completely.
Which is wild. And you've got the hood to close without cutting it, right?
No,
the other one was cut.
The other one was cut on the inside. The bracing was cut, but I realized later on that I didn't have to cut the bracing.
That's wild.
Because everybody's like, oh, well, this isn't going to work, but they would never tell me why. You search Google and everybody's a keyboard warrior and they're, oh, that can't work. Well, do you have one? No. Okay, well, shut up. So we had an extra hood laying around. So originally I tried this where we used to live and it closed just fine. So we got here. Nova Steve was like, here, put this hood on there. Let's see if it works. And it worked. So then he devised a way to make the hood latch work. He devised a way to hide the cooler. I had to get a smaller charge cooler for the supercharger or whatever, because it's an air to water setup or whatever, however you want to put it.
Which I didn't even know. I even asked you earlier. I was like, I thought this thing was just cooled, or just oiled with the impellers, but no, it's got
it's got oil for the gears and stuff.
That's
for it,
cool.
Yeah, it's cooled by coolant. It has its own reservoir, its own shit, its own water pump.
Right on.
So he devised a way to make the cooler work. He devised a way to make the hood latch work. He's devised all of this stuff. He is crafty, man. That guy. He's not like me. I rush to drill holes and cut shit and rip shit out and do all that. This guy's like, no, wait a minute. Hold on now. Don't be a dumbass. Hold on just a second.
I had to take his hammers away from him earlier today, or he'd be fixing this stuff.
Yeah. But literally that's what I want. It's basically going to be a CTSV that I'm going to be able to build, but it's going to be in a Chevy 2 Nova. Now I realize before you guys get on there and say, well, it's not an LSA motor, I get that. But it's also not a CTSV.
True.
The car weighed 2,800 pounds without me in it.
CTSV
with me in it, it probably increased another 1,000. No, I'm just kidding. No, with me in it, it's like 3,100 or 3,000 pounds, or somewhere in there,
which is nothing.
Which is pretty much nothing. But at the same time, yes, it has no interior panels because I'm redoing them. It has no floor installation, none of that. But I mean, and all that stuff adds up. Don't get me wrong. But it doesn't need a big 6.2. Would I like to have it? Sure. Don't get me wrong. I would love to have it. But this is what I got. I got a 5.3. It'll be fine. With a cam, some boost increase and all that. It'll be plenty of power. I'll be able to drive it every day. It's got, the headers are great. No cats, obviously, because it's a 63 and I don't need that. It's got fake MagnaFlow mufflers I got from eBay. It's got brackets I bought from eBay for the AC, and everything seems to work. It's not like eBay junk. It's good quality eBay. It's just that was my resource. I got an order sitting at Summit right now to do all the wiring and the air intake and all of that.
We're lucky that we live in an area that there is a Summit Racing warehouse. There's only two in the United States. One is in.
That's not true.
Is there more? 4. Is there 4?
Hold on. There's Nevada, Ohio, and Texas. There's 3.
That's wild. Yeah. So don't hate Dave and his resourcefulness, but we're lucky enough that you can go to the Summit warehouse. We'll call and be like, hi, you don't have to wait, no shipping, nothing, just show up. Place your order, will call, drive in, get your stuff. And the showroom is awesome. So
what's kind of cool is we live close to Summit, right? It's for me, it's like a 30-minute drive. TireRack.com has a distribution warehouse that's probably a 40-minute drive from me. So anytime I need tires or wheels or whatever, or suspension, I can go there and I can get that.
Yeah.
We live in an area that has these cool deals. You drive maybe an hour, 20 minutes or so, and you're at a drag strip. There used to be a road course in town, but they closed it down. There's plenty of autocrossing. There's plenty of Hot August Nights is here. All this cool stuff going on, But yeah, the car, I'm on the fence. And I'll post some pictures up again while we're talking, but I wanted the car silver, but I wanted the inside to go back to factory. I wanted the factory style seating, the factory aqua colors, the factory, everything inside, so that when you're sitting in the car, for me, it's like my time capsule. I remember it from when I was a kid.
That's very cool.
But when you look at it from the outside, it's mine. It's my imagination of how it should be. It's my setup.
It should be.
It's your my car. Kind of deal, right? And I want it to be built good enough so that I could pass it on to my little man or even my daughter. She shows some interest in helping me, and she's only 6.
She's out here helping you quite a bit, huh?
A little bit. It may not be right, but she's out here, and that's great for me. I just the wheels on the car are American Racing. I think torque thrust 2s or something to that effect. I had them custom made by American Racing, 17 by 7s with a 4 3/4 backspace. And the reason for that is we have a mini tub kit sitting over here in the corner, so that when we mini tub it, all 4 of these wheels can be used All I have to do is just order 4 more wheels of the new back spacing, and essentially I could have 4 wheels with normal tires, and I could have 4 wheels with stickier tires.
That'd be cool.
Because I'm not building it to be just a drag car. I'm kind of building for just an all-around kind of sporty kind of car. I want to enjoy it in all sorts of driving. I realize it's not going to be necessarily as efficient as my Evo X outside, and it's not going to be a Corvette or anything like that.
That's going to be yours. It's going to be fun.
But it's going to be mine, and it's going to be something that I built. I'm hoping to have between 500 and 600 horse. I'm going to leave it in an automatic just for consistency and ease of drivability. My daily driver is a manual transmission anyway, so I can do that.
So if y'all have any like good tips and tricks or advice, or just want to again be keyboard warriors, go right ahead.
Go right on ahead.
Let us know what you think. Let Dave know what you think, and as I said, we'll take everything with a grain of salt, or maybe we might end up doing something, and maybe not.
I've mentioned before, I had the car for 7 years. That's a pretty good rundown of what I've been able to do. I hope to have it running again.
Dave's going to put some pictures up. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, I'll post some pictures and stuff, and I know a lot of people have been asking him, hey, what's the car in the background? What are you doing? Basically, it's been in my family for a long, long time, and I don't see it leaving anytime soon. And for those guys thinking that building a car is like it is on TV, let me just tell you this. It's not in any way. I have a wife, like I said before, 3 kids here. My oldest son is up in Oregon or whatever, so financially, he doesn't matter. He takes care of himself. But these other kids, they're 13, 6 and 7, and my wife and stuff. And like I mentioned before, I was the sole income kind of person for my house for 2.5 or 3 years. I sacrificed a couple of things to be able to make that happen. I've been lucky enough and fortunate enough to have a very understanding family. I haven't had to give up this car. People have wanted to buy it from me, and I won't do it. It's something that I'm sticking with. I need to prove it to myself. I need to be able to do this because I've never been so dedicated to something. I've always just kind of walked away from things, but it's not like it is on TV. You don't just wave a magic wand in a week or 2 or even a year or 2 and the car's done. If you have absolutely no family and nothing to do and money to just throw at shit, then sure, maybe that works out for you. But 6 years in, I'm not ashamed at all. And honestly, I've changed course on this car multiple times, and there's no shame in that. And I get lost. I've worked on cars for 20 years. I've never done anything to this degree. This project started as something that to get me out of my comfort zone. I used to do water-cooled Volkswagens and stuff, which was okay. I made some mistakes there as well, but a lot of my friends are doing this, and it's something that I wanted to prove to myself more than anyone that I can do it. And, we had a recent episode of the last episode that we did was, or last year anyway, that we recorded was, what have you done to improve yourself? Well, this is a rolling proof deal that I can improve on my skills every day. I don't know anything about body work. I don't know half of this stuff, but I've done it professionally. So just if I had to offer any advice to anybody building a car, just take your time. Don't feel rushed. If you have the means and you have the ability to
keep learning,
then do your thing. But keep learning. Keep doing your thing. But that's all I can offer. And I'll update you guys as things go. You'll see it in the background or not, depending on the level of advancement that we're doing and the evolution
depending on
of
where
the whole
it is.
thing. Yeah. But I just wanted to introduce the car. It doesn't have a name. If you guys have an idea for a name, feel free to send it in.
Oh, yeah.
www.tellyouwhatpodcast.com. Our emails are on there. Our direct link to our Facebook, to our YouTube account. Excuse me. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Do your thing. We would like to grow this thing. Maybe create some car events or something that we can get together in here in the Reno area. But if you have any questions, shoot me an email. Any comments, shoot me an email. I don't care. I'll do whatever. I'll answer whatever. It doesn't matter. I have nothing to hide.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Cool. Got any questions? Let us know about the car. We'll touch on it more. If you want to hear more about it, we can do that. We're going to touch on it more anyhow. I'll probably do like a fun Q&A, but that's just the intro to the car. What Dave's got going on, because it's sitting behind it. It's a hell of a backdrop, and people have asked about it. So
they have. It's a pretty popular topic. Is. I think they care more about that car than they care about us.
Probably.
I can't blame them.
That's okay.
I can't blame them. Anyway, guys, have a good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you're at. And
thanks again for watching and listening.
Take care. See ya.